Hi, today we are going to be talking about countries that could have existed. And I am going to, ahead of time, apologize for any background noise. There's a bit of stuff going on in the background, so sorry about that. Kurdistan. At the end of World War I, the Ottoman Empire was dissolved into several separate entities, including Palestine, Transjordan, Lebanon, Syria, etc. However, when this was divided up, the partitioners forgot one major ethnic group: the Kurds. Let's rewind. The Kurds have lived in Mesopotamia for roughly 3,000 years. In the 7th century AD, many Kurds adopted Islam as their religion. Their empire stretched all the way to the Egyptian Zagreb Mountains until the 13th century when Turks invaded. Kurdistan split into several principalities, which then, in the 15th century, got caught in a power struggle between the Ottomans and the Persians. Come to the fall of the Ottoman Empire, when the Treaty of Severus? Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I have no clue how to say it. The Treaty of Sèvres granted Kurdistan independence. However, a new treaty soon invalidated the previous treaty, and Kurdistan was gone, just like that. A chance for a less violent Middle East was lost. Korea. In 1910, Korea was annexed by the Japanese Empire. They kept it until the end of World War II, when a treaty was signed forcing them to give up all land they had gained in imperial conquests. It was to be occupied by the Soviet Union in the north and the United States in the south, divided by the 38th parallel. A socialist state was formed in the north under the leadership of Kim Il-sung, and a capitalist state formed in the south under Syngman Rhee. Both nations claimed to be the sole government of all of Korea. On June 25, 1950, the North began to invade the South with the support of the Soviet Union and the People's Republic of China. The United Nations recognized this as an act of war and sent military personnel down to defend, roughly 90% of which were provided by the United States. In the first 2 months, South Korean forces were knocked back almost to the point of defeat. Then a counter-invasion was launched at Incheon, and the tide turned, with the South Korean forces coming almost to the Yalu River, the border with China. But then the tide turned again, and China began to invade back down. It repeated going back and forth until an armistice was signed in 1953. Kaliningrad. Take a look at this map. It shows the separate states that came out of the USSR. Does anything look wrong? No? Well, look again. See that little red part right on the Baltic Sea that still isn't labeled? That's still Russia. Let's take a look. Königsberg was a Prussian, not Russian, settlement founded in 1255. It was heavily damaged by a British bombing attack in 1944 and a Soviet attack in 1945. At the end of World War II, it was handed over to the Soviet Union as part of the Russian SFSR and renamed Kaliningrad. But it didn't touch Russia at all. At the time, this wasn't a problem. It did touch other parts of the Soviet Union, and that was what mattered. But when the Soviet Union separated in 1991, it did matter. It was completely separated from the rest of Russia, yet was still part of Russia. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.